What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. Young Dolph is dead at 36 years old. This following a shooting in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I'm just hearing about this, so I wanted to just bring it to you. I haven't even had an opportunity to actually read the whole news story. So I'm going to go through this news story with you guys. So Fox 13 Memphis writes, 3 independent law enforcement sources confirm Dolph was killed on Wednesday. Police said the shooting took place at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a local bakery. The network writes that owner Maurice Hill informed them his employees said young Dolph walked into the store to buy cookies. Someone then drove up and then shot and killed him. TMZ adds that a source says that the shooter fired through a front window and notes Dolph leaves behind a daughter and son. Reporter Jeremy Pierre took to Twitter with news of the shooting. On the scene of a shooting on airwaves, Pierre wrote, I'm hearing Memphis rapper Young Dolph may be a victim in the shooting. Shooting happened at Makita's Cookies. Arkansas rapper Bankroll Freddie, who has collaborated with Dolph, posted on his Instagram stories just before 2 p.m. Eastern, man, they just killed my N-word, Young Dolph. Twitter user Rap Dose pointed out a clip of Dolph at Makita's a week ago saying the artist was showing love and promoting a local Memphis cookie business he frequents, and today they killed him right outside. That post is on the business IG with a caption reading, Young Dolph says every time he comes home, he has to stop by Makita's Cookies. Okay, so after releasing several mixtapes in the first half of the 2010s, Young Dolph scored his first top 40 hit on Billboard Hot 100 with a feature on OT Genesis' 2015 single Cut It. From there, Dolph dropped 5 studio albums in a 5-year span. He got busy. 2016's King of Memphis, 2017's Bulletproof and Thinking Out Loud, 2018 Role Model, and 2020's Rich Slave, which peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200. Dolph also collaborated with Memphis rapper Key Glock on a pair of joint projects, 2019's Dumb and Dumber and 2021's Dumb and Dumber 2, which dropped in March and claimed the number 8 spot on the Billboard album charts. Most recently, Dolph released his Paper Route Empire label's first ever compilation mixtape, Paper Route Illuminati, in July. So I'm not going to keep going back. I'm not going to keep going back into time, but I will say this, fam. I was not really familiar with Dolph's music, but I will say that I was familiar with his personality. And the dude seemed like a good dude to me. You know, I don't really know anybody that really had problems with dudes, you know. He just always seemed like a cool dude. And, you know, to see something happen like that to a dude like that, man, you know, it's like what's the signal we're giving to the kids, to the youth, right? Because young Dolph was obviously successful. I didn't know of any so-called like street ties where he's out in the streets doing whatever, like doing any gangster stuff. I wasn't privy to that type of information. So what type of, and I didn't know of any like being online, beefing and all that kind of stuff. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. The dude just seemed like a solid dude to me. And so I'm asking, what type of message are you sending to the children, the youth, who do the right thing, get out, make something out of themselves, and they still get gunned down? You dig what I'm saying? That was a time when we would, like, everybody want to live, everybody want to be free, but that was a time when certain people would make it and the whole community would protect that person because they like, man, he one of us, he made it out. She's one of us, she made it out. And so you kind of wrap your arms, the whole community kind of wrap their arms around that person because they also know that that person could perhaps help the community rise, help the neighborhood rise, help others in the neighborhood who might need some assistance, And it also serves that person's journey serves as a reminder that if he can make it, I can make it. We came from the same place. So if he can do it, I can do it. So it's a great instrument, a great tool to use for motivation. So it's just it's really just a really shitty deal, when stuff like this happens. And that's always, I'm attending a funeral this weekend, for a kid that was murdered. Again, just a senseless murder. It just amazes me how easy it is. And I don't know who did it, but something tells me I got a really, really good idea. Something tells me that whoever did it more than likely identifies as a Black person. And it's more than likely, it's probably more than one person involved because you know how they do now. They do everything in gangs. They drink out the same bottle in gangs. They rob in gangs, have sex in gangs, everything. They do everything but raise their children in gangs. That's figuratively speaking, not literally, because they will, like the real gang, they will raise their kids in a real gang. But I'm talking about like doing the right thing, raising your kids that way. You dig what I'm saying? Like collectively raising the kids, doing right by your kids. Oh, they don't know how to do that. That's a problem. That's where you run into the problem right there, huh? And here's another thought, fam. Usually, Dolph was 37, I think, when he was killed. Let me make sure here. Okay, so Dolph was 36. He was 36 years old. Damn, didn't know his real name was Adolph. Wow. I would think people would want to avoid that name, but his real name was Adolph Thornton. So he's 36 years old. Usually, not all the time, usually, if a Black male can reach 30, usually they can live their life out without being murdered in the streets like a dog. And reason being is by the time you're 30, you've navigated through the treacherous waters, all of this stuff, but you pay more attention to the places you hang out. and the people you hang out with. You know, you see the trouble. You're like, man, no, I ain't going over there, man. Because by then also you've probably got a little bit more to lose, you know. Like maybe you have a kid or two. Perhaps you're married, you settled down, and you got more to live for. Perhaps you got a solid job and you got a good thing going, and you're not taking those same risks as you did when you were younger. You were in your 20s. So usually when you can get to that 30, you hit that 30 mark, the chances of survival is a whole lot greater. Typically, you put down a lot of dumb stuff that you used to do when you was a teenager or when you was in your 20s. So just by making the choice not to go certain places where you know people don't like living, because there's certain places you can go to and you be like, these motherfuckers act like some damn animals. These motherfuckers really don't like living. Because every single time you go to certain places you can go to, when you go to that certain place, it's always drama. It's always conflict. Somebody always in a fight. I remember when I was a youngster, I used to go to clubs where people would get killed at least once every other week. Somebody gets shot. They find a body behind the club. Damn near every weekend. A body has been dumped behind the club or somebody, and you go in these certain clubs, and especially these youngster spots, it might be 5 or 6 fights break out in one night, just 5 or 6 fights. And the security guards and stuff, they used to it. They go in, they like fighting. They like beating up people and breaking the fights up and putting people in jail. So it's all a whole little system that they have. It's all this energy. It's certain people just don't know how to behave civilized. You know, there are certain people who are just uncivilized. They're not meant to live in society. They really do need to be put in cages. They need to be put in cages. They don't like living amongst the civilized. They don't deserve to live amongst the civilized. When you get older, you figure this out and you say, you know what, I ain't going over there. Because these fools, they don't like living. They don't respect nothing. They don't like living. They always want to fight. They're always angry. Let me go somewhere over here. I'm going to go over here and chill out, man, you know, because I like living. I like breathing. It feels good, you know, it feels good. I like walking on 2 legs instead of walking around hopping, rolling around in a wheelchair. You got your legs shot off. You got hit in the back with shotgun pellets and you're paralyzed. I like being able to just get up without assistance. Some people don't like that. Some people will see somebody who is mannerable, respectful, considerate, and they'll think that person is weak. They'll think that there's something soft about that person. And they just got life all twisted. They got everything backwards. They think that keeping it real is acting a damn fool. They think that's keeping it real. They think keeping it real is telling somebody everything you're thinking. They think that's keeping it real. They don't understand that they probably work for somebody who can't stand them, hate their guts. But they'll never know that because that person that's dumb. That person is not stupid enough to tell you how they really feel about you. They're going to tell you what you hear as long as your ass get that work done. You'll never hear about how they really feel about you. So yeah, it's sad, fam, that even when you make it, you can still find yourself, you know, laying on the street, dead like a dog. Going into the comments. Queen Isis, what's up? Smooth Tennessee. Meet your dog. KK, rest in peace, Dolph. I'm actually a fan, and this is why I wanted to do this. Like when things like this happen, when we have these type of losses, I think it's important to have like a platform for all of us to come, and we can kind of like fellowship and voice our opinions and reminisce. If you got any stories about Dolph, I'd love to hear any personal stories you might have on him. That'd be cool. But I think it's cool to have a place like this, where we can come to and we can all kind of like have a discussion, right? Whatever you want to do, you want to reminisce, go down memory lane, offer some words of encouragement to the family and friends. All that's good. This is the place you can do it at right now. Alan Jones. What's up, Alan? Sharisa Dudley. International Green. Kevin Kidd, Cleveland, Ohio in the building. Rookie, as a fan, says he hopes that Key Glock is okay mentally. Westside Jody says he died in his own city. Well, that's usually how it happens. Here's something else to consider. Most people from the hood gets killed by people from the hood. Their hood, not any other hood, their hood. Most people who get killed in the hood gets killed by somebody in the hood that they're from. Now think about that. Let that soak in for a moment. So why is that? Those people that you're closest to, you're closest to in proximity, are going to be the people you have more conflict with, right? And there's a myriad of reasons why you might have conflict. It could be that y'all had an argument about something. Could be over a girl, guy, whatever. It could be a situation where this person has never liked you. Y'all been in competition for likes. In the neighborhood and perhaps even on the internet now for likes. Always been in competition. Maybe in middle school, elementary, high school, you've been in competition. Maybe you did something to this person or you harmed this person in some way years ago and they always had a grudge. But those are that deep-seated hate. That's the worst. Somebody you hanging around with, it could be somebody that you're hanging around with. You're getting money with. And they hating on the whole time they're hating because it's something about you that lowers their self-esteem, makes them feel less of a person, makes them feel less valuable. So that hate, that close proximity hate is worse because if you have a situation where you have some conflict with somebody outside who don't know you personally, perhaps that's that one incident and maybe y'all can get over it or whatever. But when you bump heads with somebody that's have a history with you, they're conjuring up all of these past events and what they thought about you in the past and how bad they've been wanting to get with you anyway. Somebody, you get into a fight with somebody in the neighborhood, it could be somebody that's been wanting to really fight you for a whole year. Man, I've been wanting to whoop this motherfucker. I've been wanting to do this to him. I ain't never liked him, never liked her, and now they get a chance to get off on you. They'll take it. Gotta be very careful about people that's from the same neighborhood. That's why, as much as I love my hood, I don't love it for its condition. I don't love it for its fellowship. I love it because that's part of me. That's where I'm from. It made me the tough person that I am. It gave me tough skin. It gave me the grit, the street smarts that I have. So that's what I love about it. But as far as the conditions, as far as how some people in the neighborhood handle people, all that throwing up, I'll throw that up or whatever, but I understand. It's people in my own neighborhood in 5th Ward that can't stand my guts, and I ain't never did nothing to them. I never did nothing to them to warrant, such I would say, venom. I've never done anything to them. But sometimes people hate you for reasons you just don't even understand. You don't even know. It's like, and sometimes those reasons be so trivial. They be so juvenile. That person might tell somebody that they don't like you, and they understand that it's so juvenile that they're ashamed to admit why they don't like you. Because they know it's some sucker shit. So yeah, most of the people that I know from the hood that have been murdered was murdered by a person from their own neighborhood. Sometimes people that sat at the table at their mama house and ate their mama food, slept in their bed, slept on their couch, been known forever, and murdered her. That's why I don't get caught up in all that old hood shit. I don't get caught up in that stuff like that. Because I know what some of these suckers are capable of doing. I know what some of them really think. So, who is this? So that is the question, like, how can we stop this? How? And as simple as that is, as simple of a question as that is, we should all have answers, right? How do we stop this? How? It really does start at home. It starts with the person. It starts with that person who brings a baby into this world in the first place. That's where it starts. And, it's damn near impossible to stop a damn fool or somebody who's unqualified to have a baby from having a baby. Because damn fools and clowns, suckers, pimps and hoes and everything else, they have babies too. So what you think they're gonna give them when they come up? They ain't got nothing. You can't give what you ain't got. So you're gonna have these babies. Even same thing with racists, bigots. What you think they're gonna give their children? They ain't got nothing positive to give them. All they got to give them is negativity. So what do you think they're gonna raise? What kind of children do you think they're gonna raise? You can't give what you ain't got. So that's where it starts. And we live in a so-called free society where a person gets to have sex when they want to, and if they want to have a baby, they can have a baby. And ain't nothing we can do about it. And if they want to have a baby and neglect that baby, ain't nothing you can do about it. They want to have a baby and beat that baby, abuse that baby, teach that baby to hate, ain't nothing you can do about it. But wait until they unleash that baby. When that baby becomes a teenager or an adult, ain't nothing you can do but wait till they unleash him on the world. You can hope and pray that the baby turn out differently. But more than likely, that baby gonna come out just like the mama and the daddy who brought him into the world. So that's where it starts. You can try to encourage people to care, try to encourage people to do better. You know, one thing that people that are not the parents can do is we can actually provide better social services. That's something that can be done. You can't control a person's sexual organs. You know, you can't control a person's mind. You know, it's very difficult to stop a determined mind. Somebody just determined to take life, it's just difficult to stop that person that want to kill. But there are some things that we can do on a social level. You know, I've always said that we need to have conflict resolution taught in schools. Damn all this other shit that we ain't gonna never use, we may never have to use. It's so much stuff that's taught in schools that we don't even use. But conflict resolution is something that could be used in every school in America. It's not being taught at home. I taught mine conflict resolution at home. And I would advise you guys to do the same until the school system catches up. But there are things that can be done. Social services, when you see a kid that might be having some troubles, you know, get that kid some counseling, get them some therapy. These are social services that can be provided. They got social services out there, but they don't do a good job in outreach. A lot of people don't even know that those services are available for free. They got some that cost, but if you got the money, you want a more personal, exclusive experience, you know. But they have those services are out there, and they are free. But we can do a better job in the outreach side of it, and even doing more. Because you got a bunch of angry people walking around this country. It's a whole bunch of angry people walking around here. And they're ready to go off. They're ready to kill something. In fact, some of them think killing is funny. Some of them are amused by killing. So it all starts at home. You don't like the life that you had as a kid, put it in your mind that you're going to break the cycle and start with the person that you're going to procreate with. Be very careful about the one you pick to procreate with, because if not, the cycle continues. You might have your mind straight, your head screwed on right, and you cool. You calm, you're cool, collective. Look, you might have a good outlook on society. You treat people like you want to be treated. You're a hard worker. You ain't running around begging for nothing. You know, you're working for what you want. But you might get attracted sexually to somebody who ain't about nothing. And when you procreate with that person who ain't about nothing, this is what you're doing with your children's lives. Shaking the dice. How they gonna turn out? Don't think you can just control the situation. Don't think you can just bring them to have them at your mama house, at your people house, around your people. Now that's that man kids, or now that's that woman kid too. And that kid gonna be around his people, that kid's gonna be around her people. And if their people are messed up, guess what's gonna happen? More than likely, they are going to influence your children to be messed up. More than likely. There are exceptions, but more than likely. That's why when you hook up with a person, even if that person seems to be a good person, level-headed person, hardworking, respectful, and all that kind of stuff. The rest of their family might be straight trash. When you marry that person, when you hook up with that person, if y'all end up going further than just the two of you, if you lay down and three of y'all get up, that baby is going to be around, more than likely going to be around his other family. Now, what do you think going to happen? They're going to damage him. They will have some influence on him. I see kids all the time who are mannerable in one home. And when they go visit their co-parent, they come back just one weekend. They come back and you gotta bring them all the way back down. You gotta reel them all the way back in because they buck wild. They come back home buck wild, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. That's all it takes. It's just going over there, just seeing that ignorance one time, being around it, being allowed to not have any responsibility, to be able to act reckless, to be able to cuss when you want to cuss and not respect nothing or whatever. All it takes is one time. It's harder to reverse a negative mentality than it is a positive mentality. If a person who is already negative, you catch a kid, that's why I say you got to catch a kid at them formidable ages. When they get to be a certain age, good luck. You got to catch them early. Catch them early. You might be all right. But man, you catch them, man, and they mess around, hit that. And they're getting younger now, so really, it used to be like you catch them at 14, 15, you might be good. Nah, shit, you better catch them at 9, 10, or else it might be an uphill battle. Going back into the comments. Who is that, McGowan? Paul McGowan. Cherie O'Neill, what's up, Cherie? Taylor Moody. If you're just not joining the live, fam, bad news. Young Dolph has been murdered in Memphis, his hometown, his own hometown, his own backyard. Murdered at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a local bakery. Police say that, witnesses said that he came inside of the bakery and somebody walked up and fired through the glass, gunning him down. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, this is what Freddie Gibbs was talking about on the Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast. This is what he was talking about. That's exactly what he was talking about. Be your own kind, your own people. You know, but Memphis is a big place. So how do you avoid not going anywhere in Memphis? I don't know where this bakery is located. I don't know what part of the city it's located in, but a bakery, I'm sure, well, I ain't gonna say I'm sure, but bakeries are not normally located in the hood. You know, most people in the hood can't afford to shop at a bakery. So I don't know, fam. But he wasn't necessarily talking about being killed in the hood. He was just talking about the hood coming to find you, wherever you might be. We catching hell on all fronts, fam. So we got our own. To have to deal with, and then we got all these exterior enemies to deal with. So we catching hell coming and going like, man, it's like we got to keep our head on the swivel. You know, young black males, oh man. Boy, black males, period. Man, boy, they did a number on us, man. They got us good. They got us good. And I don't care what none of y'all say. This shit go all the way back to slavery. That's when it was shaped. That's when the whole mentality was shaped in the first place. That's where it go back from. It was that control that they had over us that's responsible for the remnants today. Some people couldn't shake it. They passed it down to their children. Yeah. Some people didn't realize once they had their bodies free, they couldn't free their minds. Even to this day. I know some people some dudes I know, they can't stay out of trouble unless they're on probation. They got to be on probation or parole to stay out of trouble. Think about that, fam. You got to have supervision in order to stay out of trouble, in order to not go out and do something criminal. You got to be under the threat, the constant threat of going to jail. Blue waves. What's up, Bruce? And I'll tell you something else, fam. It's something that Slim Thug said when he was on our podcast. Again, if you haven't followed the Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. There's a link under this video for you to click on to follow the Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast. I mean, we're constantly having guests on there that drop gems. And, you know, we drop a few bars ourselves from time to time. But Slim Thug said, you got crash dummies out there. So just he try to avoid the crash dummies. He try to stay out of the way of the crash dummies. Sometimes that can be hard to do because sometimes a crash dummy might try to punk you, you know, might try to check you in some kind of way. But, you know, I'm not saying be a coward or whatever, but it's a way that you respond to these suckers, you know, these type of people who are uncivilized, you know, because they can get it too. But it ain't what you do, is how you do it. So you gotta be thinking at all times because they're not thinking. These fools are uncivilized and they're reckless. And so you gotta be careful about how you move around them. Like Slim said, man, these crash dummies out here, man, just get out of the way. And you know what? One thing that I know about crash dummies, if you get out of the way, they're going to crash into something or somebody. They're going to crash into something or somebody. You just make sure it's not you. Even when it comes to killing. Sometimes you don't have to kill somebody. Let somebody else kill them. You know what? Let me get on out of the way. Because that fool, the way he moving, somebody gonna kill him. It's inevitable. He got to get killed. Because this motherfucker cannot live in a civilized society. He ain't gonna make it. So just get out of the way and let somebody else do it. That way you ain't even gotta go downtown and give a statement. You ain't gotta worry about an overzealous prosecutor who decides that, you know what, I'm not seeing self-defense here. I want you and him. You know, because some of those prosecutors, they don't care about right. Well, most of them, all of them, they don't care. They don't care about right. Well, I ain't gonna say all of them because I know a few that do. But most of them, they don't care about right, who's right. They don't care about doing the right thing. What they want is convictions. And they don't care if you're innocent or guilty. They want a conviction. So if you find yourself across from them, they're trying to convict you. They're not trying to exonerate you. They are trying to convict you. I.B. Lewis, what's up? Blue Waves, text S. Text S. I feel you. TLS. Man, why people saying, Jaheem, why are you saying stop promoting killing in music? That ain't even a good, you can say that because trust me, it's going to be one of these fools that talk about killing, going to get killed. So, going to get killed by somebody that he talked about killing. This stop promoting killing in music ain't got nothing to do with where we at right now at this point. Y'all got to stop trying to blame everything on hip hop. People were killing people before hip hop, and they're gonna kill people after hip hop. Yeah, you can say, and I'm with you. Yeah, we should stop promoting that in music. That should come to an end. But I can tell you, as opposed to just continue to complain about it, why don't you take the lead like these LGBTQ community does? And when they hear certain words, they go and shut it down. They shut down the corporations that play the music. They shut down the corporations that sign the artists. They shut down the brands. So start shutting them down, and you ain't got to get on social media and stop talking about killing the music. Have that same type of energy they have. They'll stop it. If all the people who talk about stop promoting killing in music would boycott like they did H&M, they could shut some stuff down like this. If they boycotted, if they took to the streets, man, they'll stop that. They'll stop it. They'll stop it. I mean, if they can stop certain words that are offensive to the gay community and to the Jewish community, well, they damn sure can stop words that are offensive to the Black community. But the people that say that they're offended by it, they don't have any follow through. They just complain about it, but they don't do anything about it. They don't do anything besides complain. The Jewish community get proactive. They shut you down. They go boycott your festivals. They're going to boycott the record company. They boycott anybody that's doing business with you, brands, companies, people, whatever. They're going to boycott everything. That's how they do it. So you got the blueprint. Take charge. Don't wait on nobody else to do it either. Go do it. If it concerns you that much, go and start boycotting, shutting them down, shut them down. Shut down YouTube too, because YouTube allow it. YouTube allow the killer music. Yeah. Shut down YouTube. Get off YouTube. Get off Facebook. Get off Instagram. Shut them down. But you can't keep feeding the beast, because you're also feeding the beast. You can't keep feeding the beast and just complain and then complain about it. Saw the girl, I put a post up today. I put a post up today about the woman who, Sophia, the chick, Sophia, who peed on a fan at a concert. And somebody said, she's still better than 50% of the rappers. What the hell that has to do with rappers? Some people are fixated on rappers. And I do believe some people, I don't think it's just that they don't like rappers because of music, whatever. I think some people are just genuinely jealous of rappers. I think some people are jealous because they ain't got the money, they ain't got the girls, they ain't got the cars, the clothes, and they're jealous because everything is come back to rappers. Meanwhile, Hollywood's showing you how to rob the bank. Hollywood showing you how to plot the murder. Hollywood is everything that the rappers are doing, the actors are doing except getting killed. But ain't nobody going after the big studios. Ain't nobody trying to shut down Miramax. I think they're still around. Ain't nobody trying to shut down Fox Studios or Universal Studios or any of those big studios out there. Nobody's trying to shut MGM down. Nobody. They go straight to the low-hanging fruit, the rappers. Man, get at those executives. Get at Universal and Sony. Get at all of these big labels. Get at them. That'll do it. Go to the top. Cut the head off and the rest of the body will die. The rappers are part of the body. They're not the head. They're the body. Cut off the head, the rest of the body will die. When I hear people just constantly talking about rappers, I'm like, damn, are you slow? Like, why aren't you talking about the people who put these rappers out, who release them and give them the money to talk this stuff, to talk this killer music? Apple Music, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of them are playing the videos. All of them are selling the music. Shut them down and the rappers are changed, because if they can't get on these platforms, then they can't sell their music. So shut that down and you'll shut down the rappers talking that crazy shit. It'll happen like this. But perhaps that's too much work. It's Thomas, what's up? Okay, so I'm hearing some other reports here. Let's see, young Dolph. Let's see if this has any validity. Nah. No, TMZ is saying he was shot and killed in his hometown. Somebody was saying something about young Dolph possibly being killed in California, but no. They're saying he was killed in his own hometown, Memphis. I just saw young Dolph in the locker room with Deion Sanders. He was pumping the team up. Went in there and they played his music. It says, a source says Dolph went into the store and a vehicle pulled up, firing through a front window and striking the rapper. Firing through the front window. So he went into the store. So I guess he shot through the glass at the store. Says young Dolph has been a target in the past. Back in 2017, he was struck by multiple bullets outside of a shoe store in Hollywood, getting him hit in the arms and buttocks, requiring surgery. Okay, so that's where that story comes from. That was a 2007 story where he got shot in Hollywood. Earlier that same year, Dolph's SUV was shot at over 100 times while he was in Charlotte, North Carolina, in a shooting that saw an arrest warrant issued for Black youngster who later turned himself in. The charges against Black youngster were eventually dropped. As Dolph explained to us, in the wake of that shooting, he dropped $600,000 for a pair of bulletproof vehicles, and he chalked up the hail of gunfire to jealousy and hate because he's rich and successful. Last time we got Dolph out was 2019. He talked to our cameras about Lakers and Juice WRLD. Dolph leaves behind a son and a daughter. He was only 36. Son and a daughter. You know, I was hearing something about like, they were saying that people who drink and drive should pay child support for mothers and fathers who they kill in the accidents. I don't think this is a bad idea. When you kill somebody, mama or daddy, you pay child support. I think that's pretty fair. Make their asses pay child support. I mean, at the minimum. But most of they broke asses ain't got no money to pay child support in the first place. So what's going to happen? They go into jail. But hey, put the pressure on them anyway. You know, that's not a bad idea. Dolph say that, you know, he's got a lot of jealousy because he's rich and famous. I don't know, fam. It's a lot of rich and famous people out there who ain't getting gunned down. So, you know, maybe because you're rich and famous and, you know, the type of company that he was keeping, you know, because the energy that you have around you says a whole lot, right? Energy, it means a lot. You know, I don't want to jinx myself, but I just avoid people who have bad energy. I avoid people who have a lot of conflict, who got a lot of people trying to get at them. I try to stay away from people like that. Because when those killers come, they're not asking any questions. So I just try to avoid those type of people. And I try to avoid going to certain places where I know people don't appreciate oxygen. They don't like breathing. So I try to stay away from them type of people. I go in a total different direction. Sometimes when I do go out, while I know I might where I might encounter those type of people, I move with intent, very purposely. Go in, do what I got to do, boom, boom, go out, get around here, boom, out, gone. Because I'm in that type of industry, you know, where, you know, you got to network. You got to network. You can't do what I do without networking. So, but all that hanging out, I do not close the club down. You know why I don't close the club down? Because, now this is very important, fam, for those of you, the party animals. This is why I always leave before the club closes. When the club closes, usually anybody who may have bumped into somebody or had some exchanges inside of the club, because when people are drinking, you know, they tend to act unruly and they get into little spats inside the club. Now the club is closed, you're outside, you're standing around, you're looking at the person that was looking upside your head or bumped into you, whatever. Now, what's up now? You see? Or this happens a lot. It's the dudes outside the club who has struck out. They didn't get the girl they wanted. They didn't get any girl. And you walking out and you got yours. They mad. They want to fight. They want to hurt something. So they look at you as a target. Or maybe you don't have a girl with you, but they're just mad at everything. They're mad. So they want to hurt something. And they got guns. They mad. They got guns. They got guns. They mad. Some of them just coming there, they looking to do something. And they're trying to prove to their homeboy that they real, that they hard. Next thing you know, boom. Fight break out, boom. So I don't close the club down. I'm gone. I get out. I always leave before people start exiting, before there's a mass exit. Before there's a mad exit, I'm out, I'm gone. By the time the club closed, I'm already at home. And I've also stopped going to these late night spots because oftentimes these bad attitudes spill over into these late night spots. You in there trying to enjoy yourself, eating breakfast or whatever, and this unruly, uncivilized mutt walks in talking loud and being disrespectful, cussing, doing whatever. And, you know, that alcohol still working on them. They're just uncivilized. Next thing you know, ding, ding, fries and shake. Something going down. So just try to avoid it. Helps out tremendously. Because I think about when I didn't go out of my way to avoid those type of things, and I used to bump heads a lot. And I got down a lot on these fools. So just a little word to the wise, fam. Don't try to shut the club down unless it's yours. Robert Clayton, what up? Money Wise. I mean, young Dolph got killed walking into a bakery. A bakery? Yeah. Skilly Knight. Queen Jet Black. Conscious Energy. Tank Dog. What's up, Chris Abbott? Bobo. Kelvin Harris. What's up, Kelvin? Okay, so Vendria Robinson says he did get killed in the hood. Makitas is in South Memphis. The cookie shop is legendary in Memphis. She says she's born and raised in Memphis. And why would, I wouldn't even want something like that on my record, somebody who represented hope for my city. I wouldn't even want on my record that I did something like that. But these dudes, they ain't got no honor, you know? They don't respect nothing. They don't care about none of that. It's selfish, it's their own insecurities. That's all they care about, what they want. There should be nowhere for these type of dudes to hide. They should have no refuge in the hood. Nobody should be claiming them. Nobody. There should be nowhere for them to hide. What's up, David Miles? Yeah, this story it broke the internet. Talk about, but damn, I didn't even know that young Dolph was involved in that many hit attempts on his life. BBX, where's the ladies' gear? I got a little ladies' gear in there. There's a little ladies' gear. You got to check it out. There's a link in the description. Got some leggings in there and some tees. Bankroll TV said they put money on his head. Huh. What's up, William Roach? Welcome to the show. And here's the thing, fam. This is what really trips me out. It's just so a lot of guys in my generation went to prison. And their kids, these kids today, they are the fruit from that tree. A lot of guys who grew up in my generation, mamas and daddies, were so preoccupied with enjoying their newfound freedom, being away from Jim Crow, not having to adhere to Jim Crow laws. They were just happy that it wasn't these old uncivilized white dudes running around lynching them and stuff. So they failed to give us the lesson of self-perseverance and making sure that we raised a good generation, a strong generation. They were just busy. They were so preoccupied with just, trying to put food on the table, right? They didn't pass down, most of them didn't pass the lessons down to us. So now we're here and we really ain't got nothing. We ain't really got nothing. We ain't got no businesses been passed down to us. We ain't got no money to stimulate a business for us. A lot of us, we just take to the streets and we start, after the government dropped the crack cocaine and, the CIA dropped the crack cocaine, the government, CIA dropped the crack cocaine in the neighborhoods, we took it because we didn't see a better option. Many of us, we couldn't see it. We couldn't see it was a setup. We didn't see the setup. We just saw opportunity. So the next thing you know, the government create the chaos and then they swoop in and play the hero. So now they locking everybody up. And a lot of us are like, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up. We don't understand that this is all a plan to destroy us. So they lock up the fathers. They lock up the men, the real men. And now you have this generation of youngsters being left to their own devices coming up with no father figure, no positive role models. And boom, you have this explosion of dudes out here robbing everything, killing everything, disrespecting everything. Now, here's where it gets even worse. These uncivilized mutts like sex too. And many of them lay down with uncivilized mutts. Because something got to be wrong with you to be attracted to that, right? What do you think they're going to produce? What do you think going to happen when you got two uncivilized mutts lay down together? What do you think going to happen? And what do you think they're going to give their child? Some of them will intentionally. It's already happening, giving their children weed. They think it's funny. Letting kids smoke weed. Some of them giving them embalming fluid. Some of them letting their kids drink syrup. Some of them are giving them Hennessy. Drink this Hennessy. And they think it's funny to see their reaction. Sit back and wait on them, see how they react. They think it's funny. They think it's funny when their kids cuss folks out. Cuss them out. They think it's funny. And then, so they raise their kids to be uncivilized. And then they send them out into the world in a civilized society and hope for the best. Buckle up, family. It's about to get way worse. I'm thinking about moving the hell up out of here, fam. I'm straight up. I'm thinking about getting the hell out of here. America is a war zone. And some of you are in certain cities, y'all think that y'all are immune to it. No, you're not. It's in America. Leadership starts at the top. The leaders in America are uncivilized. You got a bunch of uncivilized mutts who are leaders in America. They're congressmen and women, they're senators, they're Republicans and Democrats, they're libertarians, they're moderates, they're uncivilized. They're DAs, they're prosecutors, they're law enforcement, they're judges, uncivilized. But some of y'all get confused because y'all see the people with the titles and the nice shirts and what they're supposed to represent. And you give them a pass and think that they're here to restore order or to maintain order, but they're not. They're here to control, subjugate. They're here to abuse. They're here to kill. They're here to take advantage of you. Gimme, 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 gimme. Take as much money as they can for themselves. They're here to pad their pockets at your expense. Don't be fooled. We're in trouble, fam. We're in trouble. I thank y'all for joining the live. I wish I had better news, but this is where we are, fam. Young Dolph, dead at 36 years old, gunned down in his own backyard, Memphis, Tennessee. That's cold-blooded. R.I.P. Young Dolph. No more talk.